we already have the information that teaches how to do the setups, and we have how to use the technology to actually draw the content you need.
Right.
Now what we need to put is the bridge between the two in an organized manner that talks about social marketing, how to set it up, what you can do with it, and then ultimately how to do the first steps to build the building blocks.
That's how you earn your credibility, being able to talk intelligently about what the topic of this lending world, right? And allow your audience to connect with you at your level, depending on where you're at in your journey, so that they can actually have a conversation with you.
Right.
And then once you kind of have that kind of base foundation, then I'm able to then get into more specific strategies around fix and flip, new construction, Airbnb. So I think that's what I'm finding, is that we have to have that kind of bridge to allow us to at least set that, kind of when you build a house, you need the base, you need the foundation. Once you have that, then you can go up depending on
whatever you want to do, or whatever your market requires. Yeah, I like that idea, because the other thing too is, since you're kind of leveraging two different companies, you have the lending arm with the strategy, and then you have the marketing company with the technology. So being able to bridge those two, so that you go from how to set it up to what's the purpose of doing this to how to do it, and then from that point on is, okay, based on these strategies that I want to focus on, then I build on top of this, and then that becomes my draw, if you will, for the specialists, for those that want to flip, or those that only want to do ground up.
And I don't know the other levels of partners, but at least the level that I'm in, I mean, the fact that we have a base website and kind of the Rise Hub, all that, I think that helps to be part of the foundational pieces, right? But there is that layer of personalization for you as an individual, that you're the spokesperson for your own business, so you have to layer that on top of all the kind of the nuts and bolts of what we have, the website and the CRM, and all the different socials to connect everything. I think that connectivity and integration, and making sure that you're able to then help people through the funnel.
Yeah, exactly. So let's recap where we're at, because I want to build, and please send me this when we're done. Yeah. But because I really like how we're going to build this out with you, but I think in general we can create a framework for the foundation too. So we start thinking about what is that focus of that area we want to do. Let's say right now the beginning is a foundation. From that foundational piece, there's some interview content that we've already done or worked together on that has been already spliced up, even using technology to give you 10 videos out of one. You schedule one of those per week for the next 10 weeks. Right now you've got literally one piece of content scheduled through your software that's just going to give information about you and your skills or what you're doing. The other part then goes into, for example, the evergreen webinar content, right? The evergreen webinar that you've recorded that everybody has access to right now could be from acquisition, turnkey deals. It could be short-term rental, how to work with the right team to help you to do a turnkey solution for a short-term rental management. Ground up construction is another one, how to build turnkey deals leveraging our team, and so on and so forth. There's other topics. Well, while those evergreens will be used inside of a funnel system, right, to kind of walk people through your journey, they can also be chopped up and have little tidbits that you can schedule once a week for the next 10, 15, 20 weeks. Now you've got literally a 10-week strategy that's already being scheduled. You have to literally set it and forget it. Now, what goes alongside is leveraging then the topic you're going to focus on for this, let's say this month or the next 10 weeks. And that's where the AI component, it really becomes an amazing tool, right? Why? Because first of all, that AI tool or tools that we have for you, they are trained based on our tools and our guidelines. So you're going to get raw information, but it's raw information from our business model. So in essence, you can't really misrepresent it because it's only using that as the source. So let's say in this example, you are going to talk about turnkey solutions for ground up construction. So what you could do is go into the AI, Maya, for example, and say, Maya, I want to do a 10-week series on social media, introducing people to our ground up construction programs for those that want to build homes turnkey. Give me 10-week post schedule, and literally it'll either write it for you or at least even give you a framework if need be. But the idea is, I want to talk about what is the product, what are the benefits of the product, what are the guidelines to get approved for the product, right? And so what it will do is it'll create those posts. You can copy the content and either A, post it as is, or B, maybe even do a small little 30-second video clip talking about it. It's up to you. Once that's done, you schedule it. Now you forget it. Now you've got a scheduled time of multiple pieces. The last part, and this is the one we're working even right now, is one of the things that we had some feedback on, even from the marketing team, is, and I have a hard time with this, I'm not gonna lie, is I've always had a way of like separating when it comes to certain things, my family from work. But my schedule is all one because I want my family as a part of exactly. What my team's been pushing on is look, a lot of people want to see what your life looks like. So getting involved, right now we're doing once a week, we're building up the schedule of like a day in the life content that we put exactly like a vlog. These are some ideas of what you can schedule, and I'm happy to work with you even if we do a schedule. Before I forget, the one last thing I was going to say, we brought this up before. I think even Sam did it live in one of the lessons. And that is, if you're in the vein of this topic that we're talking, just going back to the focus for the month, once you have that AI with the content, about the product, the information, and then the Q&As, you can take that same thread and at the very end say, I want you to help me to put together a 15-page workbook explaining this entire thing in detail, and it'll spit it out so that you can ultimately copy it, put it into a PDF with your logo and information. So exactly, hey, I put together a 15-page workbook that will show you how to leverage a ground-up construction piece. When you sign up, request it, I'm happy to send it to you. So it literally puts everything at your fingertips based on how you want to run with it. But now your customer base inquiring, I mean, that automatically, opens windows for you to be able to do that. Good, good, good. Hey, Jim, I want to introduce you to one of my business partners, Jorge. Say hello, you're on speaker.
Hey, Jim, how you doing?
Good, how are you? How are you?
I'm pretty good. Excited to get going with Rick and the team.
That's great. That's fantastic. I would like to be a part of it any way that I can, and whatever my knowledge is, I'd like to be able to pass that on, that you do the right things and the right decisions.
Well, it's all about just being around the right people, right? So thank you for
That's it. Collaborating with the right people is the story to success.
Yes, sir.
Love it.
Yeah, so Jim, I was just kind of, we're talking about setting up some automations for just the different things we're doing, the construction stuff that we talked about. We're talking, because he is a partner in the MBM side, we'll be bringing up to him the project you're pricing out for us right now, which is the luxury cabin by Disney.
Yes.
Yes. And also some of the pad split stuff, some of these houses that will have, different configurations. So what I want to do is I'm going to introduce you to him anyway and connect you guys. So if he ever has, because again, not only is he looking to do it himself, but he's going to have customers that he wants to guide through that process. Now, I do have one random question though, Jim. I know you're helping me in other markets, like you're rescuing another project as we speak in North Carolina. So my question is, tell him what market you're in. I'm just curious to see if maybe he can also help bring some support where you are as well, not just Florida.
I'm in Indiana, specifically in the Indianapolis area.
Right.
And then some up in the northwest corner, kind of where I live, but I'm about 2 hours from Indianapolis. But there's some opportunities in Indianapolis around short-term rentals and some pad split opportunities. And so just wanted to pick your brain on that market.
Absolutely, it's not a problem. And look at what I do is I take on what I can handle, and believe me, I've been at this for over 40 years, so that market has been strategically placed for me, and more importantly, the managerial process and the development side of how I do this is very strategic, and I think that Rick could stand for that for what I've just done on his end. So no problem, whatever that would be, whether it be new. Another specialty area of mine, and I've been doing for decades already, is also in the construction management and also doing rescue and recoveries on many. In fact, I did more than I would ever wanted to do. And whenever I would think that would stop, it doesn't stop, because there's just an influx of contractors and people in business that I think lost their mind before they even started doing what they were doing. And unfortunately and sadly have created many negative effects to good people like Rick and others that have been out there in this industry. And it breaks my heart that this has to happen. But believe it or not, I'm at this so long, and every time I pick another one of these up, I enjoy resolution. I enjoy closure to that client, whoever that is, that we've succeeded on the complexity of those projects. So I know this was a long answer, but for you, yes, in the area, the answer is yes to that too. And whatever I can bring to the table with my knowledge, wisdom, and background to do this, whether it be new and or rescue, I can handle all of it.
Yeah, I appreciate that, Jim. Thank you. That says a lot about kind of you love being in the fire, being a firefighter, and that just shows the experience and the knowledge you have and comfort around being able to tackle those. So thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. And that's it is. And believe it or not, it's funny. I always make a joke about this. I said my wife always tells me, all these years, she said there has to be something wrong with you because the more complicated it is, the more excited I get.
Yeah.
Rick would understand that. He hears some of the stuff I get.
Oh my goodness, yeah, you're crazy, but I love it. That's why you're part of the team, man. I mean, obviously, you could have picked a completely different hobby, like at least buy some puzzles, bro, and fix those.
I know.
Get a Rubik's Cube.
It's crazy. It is. But
yeah.
But what I always wish for, Jim, I'll tell you what I really wish for is that someday that this would slow down with the amount of the problems that are brought on because of bad decisions.
Yeah.
But you know what? And I can tell you this: the clientele that I collaborate with on a daily basis, practically. I make sure that they're protected of that. None of that will happen. I tell everybody this all the time. Here's the first time you and I are chatting, so Rick has heard this from me. I'm going to say it to you.
Sure.
I can never tell you that I'll never make mistakes. And I ever tell everybody, don't tell me you can give me 100% because I can't. And those perfect people are already dead. Exactly. So the thing is, one thing I can assure that 95% I will give you 100% of the time. And that is the strategy, and I put that into my team. And if there's weakness in the team, we stand them back up and fix that. So just so you know how I operate.
Yep. And he's very strict because like every situation, obviously the whole idea of creating turnkey is to avoid the issues that people are going through. But kind of like to Jim's point, like I'll give you an example because I'm sure he wouldn't talk about it, but we have a client that we have been funding for years and they were doing fine. He was a builder. In fact, he's one of the few builders approved to build in this community we're in right now. And anyway, long story short, he bit off more than he can chew. He started doing some shady stuff that nobody knew about. But he already had enough credit with people like us that nobody saw those red flags. Well, long story short, he got with the wrong contractor that was his partner, quote unquote, in North Carolina, half built these homes, and then he collapses and goes under. So now the contractor is trying to play dirty, right, while we're taking over the asset. And so we called our firefighter, Jim, and Jim put the fear of God back into that contractor. So now he's playing ball. We're rescuing the deal, and we're going to turn it into something positive. And that requires a special skill when you're dealing with people like that. So how you did that, Jim, I don't know. I probably don't want to know because we're recording, but.
Well, I think there's always a.
There's a Guido behind you, isn't there?
Well, I think.
Listen, Rick, someday when we all leave our phones outside,
then I'll finally know the secret. That's great.
I love that you're comfortable in the chaos, and out of the chaos comes opportunity. So
yes,
that's huge.
It is. It does. And I'll tell you something. You know what? I have met. And look, I mean, Rick is just one of those people as an example, and probably the highest up on my level. There's something about him throughout all. We've done a lot of rigorous stuff together, but he is as real as they come, and that gives that fuels me even more. But I've met throughout the years such fantastic people, and that's what gives me the drive to this. It really does. And then if I can minimize their losses and issues, that is even much better for them.
Agreed.
That's cool. I appreciate it, Jim. Thank you so much. Thanks for jumping on the call.
Feel free to pass my number out. If you need to call me, you can do that, or whatever you need to do.
You got it, brother. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right. Take care.